You have already deprived us of our fathers, our sons, our husbands, and our brothers, whom you accused of having wronged you. You have taken away from us the right to manage our own property. Why should we pay taxes when we have no part in the honors, the commands, the statecraft, for which you contend against each other with such harmful results?
Those are the words of Hortensia to the rulers of Rome, at a time when voices of women were muffled by centuries of tradition. Rome, a world defined by might and conquest, where power and wealth rested in the hands of men, was once again gripped by war, not against a foreign enemy, but within its own walls. The streets of Rome buzzed with unease. The air was thick with fear, the kind that crept into homes and settled deep into the bones of its people. The men who called themselves Rome's leaders, Mark Antony, Lepidus, and Octavian, had seized control, and now they demanded payment. But not from their soldiers, not from the men who wielded swords. No, they turned their gaze upon Rome's wealthiest women, the wives and daughters of those they had slain in their proscriptions. Hortensia listened as the decree was read aloud in the forum. A tax, they called it, a sacrifice for the good of Rome. The words burned in her chest like fire. She was the daughter of Quintus Hortensius, one of the greatest orators Rome had ever known. She had been raised in the echoes of his speeches, taught the weight of words and the power they held. And now, standing among the women of Rome, she saw their outrage, their fear, twisting into silent despair. No, she would not let them be silent. Hortensia stepped forward, her voice steady, her presence commanding.
Will you let them take from you what they do not dare take from their own men?
She asked, her words cutting through the murmuring crowd.
Will you stand by as they strip you of your wealth, forcing you to pay for a war that is not yours?
A few women nodded, hesitant, uncertain. Others cast their eyes downward. She took another step forward, her voice rising.
What woman would finance such a war when her husband fights for one camp and her sons fight for the other? Is it the woman whose brothers fought on one side while her father fought for the other? Or is it Julia, the mother of Mark Antony himself, whose own son prescribed her brother, his own uncle, to be killed?
Gasps rippled through the crowd. Some clutched their robes, others stood straighter, their hands curling into fists.
They would have us fund the slaughter of our own blood.
Hortensia continued.
But we are not the cause of this war. Why should we be forced to pay for it? If they are so desperate for money, let them take from those who seek power, those who raise armies, who spill Roman blood in their ambition, not from the women they have already robbed of fathers, husbands, and sons.
The murmurs of uncertainty shifted into something sharper, outrage, determination. She had given them something more powerful than wealth. She had given them a reason to fight back. The next day, the women of Rome marched, not with swords or shields, but with voices sharpened by grief and fury. They stormed the forum, standing before the mighty triumvirs themselves, refusing to be cast aside. Hortensia stood at the front, her chin lifted, her voice as unshakable as the stones beneath their feet.
We do not deny Rome our loyalty,
she declared.
But we will not be made to pay for a war we did not start.
The triumvirs scoffed. Women had no place in the affairs of state, they thought. Yet, faced with the unyielding ranks of Rome's women, they found themselves faltering, and then, they relented. The tax was reduced, many women were spared the burden. Hortensia had done what no woman had done before. She had spoken in the forum, stood against Rome's rulers, and won. She was not a soldier. She did not carry a blade, but that day she waged war with words alone, and Rome would never forget.